A very good morning, children. Today in Maths, let's continue with our chapter Addition and Subtraction up to 999. In the last class, we learned how to subtract a 2-digit number from a 3-digit number. Today, let's learn how to subtract a 3-digit number from a 3-digit number. So let's get started. Here you can see the numbers. Subtract 142 from 765. So which is greater? We know that 765 is greater. So we have to write the number 765 first and then 142. And always we need to start from the ones position. And here we have 5 minus 2 in the ones position. So how much is 5 minus 2? It is 3. So we can write that here in the ones position. Next, we have to move to the tens place. In the tens place, we have 6 minus 4. So 6 minus 4 is 2. Next, we have to move to the hundreds place. In the hundreds place, we have 7 minus 1 and 7 minus 1 is 6. So we get the answer 765 minus 142 is equal to 623. Let's check another number. Here we have subtract 242 from 685. So we'll write 685 first and then 242. Now we have to subtract and we start from the ones position. Here we have 5 minus 2 in the ones position. So how much is 5 minus 2? It is 3. So we'll write 3 here in the ones place. Next, we'll move on to the tens place. We have 8 minus 4. 8 minus 4 is 4. So, we'll write that here in the tens place. Now, we'll move on to the hundreds place. In the hundreds place, we have 6 minus 2 and 6 minus 2 is 4. So, that we'll write here under the hundreds place. And so, we get the answer 443. So, when we subtract 685 minus 242, we get the answer 443. Let's have a look at this number. We have subtract 419 from 695. So, we'll write 695 first and below that we'll write 419. Now, we'll move on to the ones place. Here what we have? We have 5 minus 9 in the ones place. So, what we have to do? We cannot subtract 9 from 5. So, we have to borrow. So, let's do that. 695 minus 419. So let's look at the numbers in the ones place. We have 5 minus 9. Since we cannot subtract 9 from 5, what we have to do? We have to borrow from the tens place. In the tens place, we have 9. So we'll take 1 from 9. So we'll borrow, we'll cut this 9 and before 9 we have 8 and that 1 which we get from the 9 we are taking it to the ones place. Now 5 becomes 15. You can write here 15. Now we can subtract 15 minus 9. Now we are able to subtract 9 from 15. So how much is 15 minus 9? It is 6. That you can write here in the ones place. Now we'll move on to the tens place. In the tens place we have 8 minus 1. And 8 minus 1 is 7. So, write that here under the tens place. Now, in the hundreds place, we have 6 minus 4 and 6 minus 4 is 2. So, we get the answer 276. Next, we have subtract 389 from 854. So, look at the ones place, we have 4 minus 9. So, 9 is greater than 4. We are not able to subtract 9 from 4. So, we will have to borrow from the tens place. So, let's write 854 minus 389. So, 4 minus 9 we have in the ones place. Since we are not able to subtract 9 from 4, what we have to do? We have to borrow from the tens place. In the tens place, we have 5. So, we'll borrow from here and we write 4 here. And that one which we borrowed, we'll take to the ones place and here 4 becomes 14. Now, we can subtract 14 minus 9. So, 14 minus 9 is 5. That we'll write here in the ones place. Now we'll move on to the tens place. In the tens place we have 4 minus 8. So which is greater? 8 is greater. So we are not able to subtract 8 from 4. So what we have to do? We'll move on to the next place. That is the hundreds place. We'll go there and borrow. So in the hundreds place we have 8. So we'll borrow from there and we can write here in the hundreds place 7. Now that which we borrowed we'll take to the tens place and here 4 becomes 14. Now we have to subtract 14 minus 8. So 14 minus 8 is 6. That right here in the tens place. Now we'll move on to the hundreds place. In the hundreds place now we have 7 minus 3. So how much is 7 minus 3? It is 4. Write that under the hundreds place and we get the answer 465. Let's look at the next number. Subtract 498 from 825. So let's do that. 825 minus 498. So here in the ones position we have 5 minus 8. 8 is bigger than 5, so we are not able to subtract. So we'll move on to the tens place and borrow from there. In the tens place we have 2. So when we borrow from 2, here we can write 1, the previous number. The one which we borrowed will take to the ones place and 5 becomes 15. Now we can subtract 15 minus 8. So 15 minus 8 is 7. So write down under the ones place. So here in the tens place we have 1 minus 9. So which is greater? 9 is greater. So we are not able to subtract 9 from 1. Now what we have to do? We'll go to the hundreds place and borrow from there. In the hundreds place we have 8. So when we borrow it becomes 7 here and the one which we borrowed will take to the tens place and 1 here becomes 11. So now 11 minus 9. So how much is 11 minus 9? It is 2. So write down under the tens place. Now in the hundreds place we have 7 minus 4 and 7 minus 4 is 3. So we get the answer 327. Now in your textbook, page number 105, you have the practice coach. You can open your text. Let's look at the first question. Subtract the following. Question A, 385 minus 111. So in the ones place we have 5 minus 1. So 5 minus 1 is 4. Write it here in the under the ones place. In the tens place we have 8 minus 1. So 8 minus 1 is 7. And in the hundreds place we have 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2 and we get the answer 274. Likewise, you can do the rest of the exercises. Question 2. Arrange in columns and subtract. So look at the first question. Subtract 149 from 279. So first you have to write this here in the columns and then subtract. So look at the question. Subtract 149 from 279. So which number we have to write first? We have to write the greater number, that is 279. So 2 in the hundreds place, 7 tens place and 1 9 in the ones place. And then we have the next number 149. 1 in the hundreds place, 4 in the tens place and 9 here in the ones place. So arrange this in the columns and then subtract. You have 3 questions here, so you can do this likewise. Next we have the match the following. So first write down the questions in your notebook, find out the difference and then match the answers here in the text. For example, look at the first question. We have 746 minus 239. How will you subtract this? 746 minus 239. So 6 minus 9 here in the ones place. We are not able to subtract. So we'll move on to the tens place and borrow from here. Here in the tens place we have 4. When we borrow, here in the tens place it becomes 3, and the 1 that we borrowed will take to the ones place, and here 6 becomes 16. Now we have to subtract 16 minus 9. So 16 minus 9 is 7. Now we have in the tens place 3 minus 3. So 3 minus 3 is 0. And in the hundreds place we have 7 minus 2, that is 5. So we get the answer 507. So we have to find out the number 507 in your textbook and match it. So the first question, 746 minus 239, we get the answer 507. So you can draw a line and match it. Now look at the second question, 414 minus 162. So this 414 minus 162. 4 minus 2 is 2. 1 minus 6, we are not able to subtract. So we'll move on to the hundreds place, borrow from there, and the one which we get, we'll take it to the tens place. Now we have 11 minus 6. 11 minus 6 is 5. And in the hundreds place we have 3 minus 1. And 3 minus 1 is 2. So find out the number 252. So where is 252 here? We have 252 here. So for 414 minus 162, we get the answer 252. So you can match. So draw a line from here to the answer 252. Likewise, you can complete the rest of the exercises. So with this, we finish today's class. We'll be meeting in the next class. Till then,